Welcome back, everybody. Division 1 action here at Zoom Racing League. We're here in Mexico City, a great track and a very high altitude. We are expecting great things once again here in Division 1. 2.67 mile track with 3 DRS zones for 17 turns. There's very high top speeds and very technical corners, especially down in Sector 2. Top speeds reaching 230 miles an hour. John Ranger here with everybody. We're getting set up for a full qualifying tonight here in Division 1. We've got a lot of reserve drivers, most definitely. Last race of the season. And real quick, yeah, we do have our Mercedes duos. I was just taking a look at that. If we go look right away, there's a couple drivers out on their banker laps. I think some guys actually are using the intermediates, as you can see already. Medium tires and intermediates, just to get a little bit of a feel for the track. Weather seems great here on this Q1 qualifying moment here. Real quick, if we do take a look at the standings, well, last week in COTA was most definitely one of our most oh, sorry about that. Just seeing some technical issues. Alright, well, should be good. Otherwise, I'll just reboot the stream real quick. Basically the conclusion of the season was everything was played out last night. Ryan Newton successfully crowned a Division 1 championship in COTA and USA in Texas. So it is what it is in that regard. There's still a chance for Eric Cavallo, who is there tonight. He will be battling for P2 with him versus Marco Bastin. A lot of positions to be played out again. It looks like some of the scores aren't properly ordered there. Nick Piché should be higher up on the order from what I'm seeing. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. The Red Bulls having a great performance, both Hudson Poole and Kyle Blevins. After penalties, obviously Hudson Poole kind of lost his points. He's appealing that currently, but that would set Kyle Blevins on his first podium of the season. Let's see if he can make it a back-to-back this season. That's basically what we're looking at as of drivers and the constructors. Well, Mercedes obviously have played out absolutely everything. Alfa Romeo is in a battle for P2, or even P3, I would say. If you throw in the Williams there, 13 points difference between P2 and P4. The Red Bulls in between them. Not going too great for the Alpines in Division 1. However, it is worth noting the Division 2 battle for between Alpine and Red Bull is quite hot, especially for the combined Constructors' Championship, where Red Bull and Alpine are absolutely tied. So that is one thing to keep an eye on. Nathan Doan, a young driver, Division 2 broadcaster, first driver to go across the line, a banker of 116.8, 117.8 for Jack Fletcher, and Cody Lawrence, a reserve driver we have here. I believe he's on the inters. Yes, he's on the inters. 3 seconds slower at a 120.4. Cody's going to tell you all sorts of things, such as he's washed, he's not fast enough, and then secretly during the week you see him racing different leagues and other kind of races he's got organized and up his sleeve, and then he comes out of the blue and throws himself as a reserve driver. Obviously, we'll ask him if he's going to race next season, and he's going to say nah, and then before you know it, he's racing next season. So Cody Lawrence, everybody, back on the grid. Kiki Urich, P10, currently about to start his, well, just started his quick lap as we're speaking, also on intermediate tires. Another reserve driver. Did not have much of a great race in COTA. Yeah, it's a banker lap, so not much to see here currently. Q1 is tends to start slow in Mexico, but it's gonna ramp up real good in Q2 and Q3. A lot of those drivers are gonna be using their soft sets. You'd expect potentially the soft tires to come and play during the race. Not so much, but definitely during safety car action, which is very possible. Turns 1 through 4 have high opportunities for incidents. Let's go like further down the grid. Do we have any other reserves? Valera's back. We haven't had him last week. In the Haas again, Jay Kwan, a driver who's been reserving for 3 races now, has been having great success, a podium on his first race. Patodaskin returning. Is this returning from a quali ban or from a race ban? I forget. Some sort of ban he had. Out there also on the entries. Let me catch a driver who's actually... Every driver so far, no matter what you see on the screen, they're just switching their tires now for their next outlap. But everybody has made their laps on either inters or mediums. The only driver currently on an outlap is Era, who's on the softs. Just starting Sector 3, coming into the stadium in just a moment. Bringing in some heat into his front tires, dragging the brakes a little bit. And he's getting himself set up, so let's keep an eye. Let's go on board with Era here for a stroll through Mexico. High top speeds here. Do not be fooled by the top speeds here. Most drivers are driving high downforce, as you would probably expect. 327 kilometers an hour is the top speed here. Not overly aggressive on the first corner, but there he goes here. Takes as wide as a corner as he can here. Easily done. You want to be careful not to put too much throttle here. It gets a little bit slippery. As tight of a line on the double right-hander here. And here comes the little bit of an S section here. And this is where you could gain a lot or lose a lot. Take too much curb and you could unsettle your car. And he's done just that. Absolutely wide here. So he's lost some time. Lost some grip. You take one corner wrong and suddenly you find yourself completely off track for the next corner. So that's 2 apexes missed for Era. But it's his banker lap here in qualifying Q1. You want to hold as tight of a line here on the inside, and that is a 1:16.2. That is a banker lap there for Era. The drivers on the outlap. Well, Ryan Newton is out there just beginning his outlap. There's a driver right behind him. I believe that is T-Nell, also on an outlap. Trying to find who else is just about to begin their next lap. And I do believe that would be Cam Bourne. Yeah, that is Cam Bourne. There we go. Alright, sorry about that. Coley Lawrence also going across the line. I didn't notice that one, but look at this. The difference in tires. There you go. Who would have thunk it? Cody Lawrence, washed out driver, 2/10 off of a very rapid driver on the medium tires versus the softs. Who would have thought that would happen? We've got Maxime Beaulieu and the AlphaTauri on a quick lap as well. And I believe there's a Red Bull. Is that Hudson? No, that should be Cal. Cal Blevins on his outlap, about to begin his fast lap. So now all these drivers out on the softs. A lot of drivers doing a single lap on the intermediates or the mediums. It's definitely not for their times. It's really just to catch a glimpse of where they can settle their car. More of a mental thing than anything else. Camborne around turns 16 and 17. On the inside, fully 116.3. Puts himself in P2 temporarily for Q1. A reminder that we are doing full qualifying. That means the last 5 drivers in Q1 will be eliminated. Positions 16 to 20. Obviously, currently those positions are drivers who have not settled a lap, and that is about to change. Freddie Rizal, rumor has it that he's got a rocket boost on his car. We shall see about that. Hopefully he doesn't rocket boost straight into a wall. Ryan Newton 115.7. There you go. 116.0 for Marcel Pabst. Positions 1 and 2. And Nick Hamrick, look at that. By the way, Nick Hamrick at 116.2. That is not a shabby lap at all for that young man. Not too far off of Eric Vallo. And Antrovetti at a 122.8. And I believe he's starting his lap fully already. Oh yeah, already almost a second and 3/10 up on his lap. So that won't be very long until all those drivers you see in the 120s essentially will be closer to the 116s. Cal Blevins having gone across the lap at a 116.1. Hudson Poole is going into the pits, so invalidated his lap. He's not happy about that one. Who is next across the finish line? That's going to be Freddie Rizal. Rocket boost, where is it? 116.3. That's P7. Look at the times. If you're at a 116, you want to settle yourself at a 116.3-ish. But he's very, very close. There's 3 drivers in the 116.3 between Hamrick, Rizal, and Camborne. Keep an eye on Nick Pichet. There's a lot of drivers on their end lap. Currently just finishing up through the stadium. And so he is about to finish his own lap. A very rapid driver who battled for the win versus Hudson Poole last week in Coda. And that's a 1:15.6, 1/10 quicker than Ryan Newton. The new leader here in Q1, Nick Pichet, a very solid driver. And we have the Haas duo who are about to be beginning their laps. Kiki Urich on his lap. Jake Kwan on his out lap currently halfway through the lap. Marcel Pabst-Vitars, he's very confident about the 116.0. We're looking at other drivers who will most probably do so. There you go. Ryan Newton also retires. Yep, expect Nick Pichet to do the same. He's on his end lap as we're speaking. However, I would honestly think anybody from positions 10 and under, 10 to 20 essentially, they're going to want to work out a fast lap. And now the Haas, both Haas drivers are probably putting themselves at a risky situation here. We'll see where Kiki is able to bring in the car at, what position he'll get. Looks like a decent lap. Will it be enough for him to get through Q1? A little bit of a wiggle there on the throttle. It's a 116.0. That's a very solid lap from the Haas driver, Kiki Urich. And Cody Lawrence adds on to his time. It's a 115.8. So he wasn't 100% sure. He wanted to be sure. And that for sure should bring him to Q2. As should Kiki Urich's time. Should bring him to Q2. So we're seeing drivers like Camborne. He's out on his time. Freddie Rizal, he's Oh, what's going on with Freddy Rizzo? He's used some battery. Did he forget to switch off his battery on his outlap? That's what it looks like. Should have enough, I think. Or is he doing a double outlap now? Yeah, he's definitely not. There's a long hesitation there, and he is blinking, so he's still charging his battery. So Freddy Rizzo double outlap, and there you go. Everybody down from... Actually, everybody's out on their outlap. Absolutely everybody. Even Cal Blevins. He's currently sitting at a P6 161. You know, if you're looking at the bottom 5, it's a 116.8. You'd have to have all of those drivers essentially gaining a minimum of 7/10. Maybe he's out on the scrub tires, you know, just to take advantage of the track evolution. So now there's a lot of pilots out, a lot of drivers out on track. It caused a little bit of a traffic jam. Cal Blevins being very aggressive on his outlap, very rapid. Nathan Doan also himself on his fast lap, so he should be done after this. He is in danger. He has to improve by at least 3/10 if he wants to put himself in a proper position to be safe. Let's see what the end of Sector 2 gives. It's almost 2/10 of a improvement. Alfa Romeo driver gets out just in time. Will Nathan Doan be able to improve his time significantly? It's a 116.5. That puts him P14. He is in danger. I don't think that is it for him. So with 20 seconds left in Q1, a lot of drivers right now are starting their fast lap. So Nathan Doan, I mean, technically he's safe, but if other drivers behind him improve, they don't have much to improve. You just got to look at Jay Kwan, who surprisingly, Jay Kwan's got us used to better qualifying times. And Patodiskin and the Aston Martin Kai Guo, both drivers only need to improve by just about 1/10 and bits just to boot Nathan Doan off of Q1. Was that Cam Borna just slotted a time in 1:15.9. Great effort from him. So already multiple drivers into 1:15s. Expect the pole time to be just... I don't think it'll be 1:14s. We'll see. But it'll definitely be very low 1:15s, 1:15.1s, 1:15.2s at most. I would expect. And Jay Kwan, he's going to have a little bit of trouble there. His battery wear usage is very low, and he's on a fast lap currently. Things are not going as expected for him, and I think he's not going to be able to improve his time. That is 1:16.3. Oh, he does just enough, and he had no battery left at the end of that corner. And so he successfully puts himself into Q2 just barely enough. Looked like his battery was completely out. And that is it. That is it. Everybody's in the pits. Everybody's gone across the times. So we're 5 eliminated drivers. Is Nathan Doan, who was just eliminated by Maxime Beaulieu. Kaigo Anand Trivedi. Tino, the reserve driver for Duncan McCamick in the Alpine. And Jack Fletcher, P20. So 1:16.5 did not cut it in Q1. Here are our times. Look how easily Cody Lawrence back into the podium positions he gets as soon as he gets the chance to come back racing with us. Nick Piché, Newton, Lawrence, Poole, Eric Avallo, Cam Bourne in P6, Urich, great qualifying for him in P7. Paps, Blevins, Hamrick, Cube, Jay Kwan, Rezel, Marco Bastin, 1:16.3. Something tells me he did not have his ERS on at all during his fast lap. He's normally way higher up in the standings. He's taking it easy. Maxim Beaulieu in P15, and the rest of the drivers, Nathan, Kai, Anand, Tino, and Fletcher. Eliminated those last 5 drivers they are. Q2 is coming up in just a moment. If you're in the chat, now is the time. Who will be the quickest in Q2? And who will be eliminated? Just taking a quick look at weather. Well, I mean, it doesn't get any sunnier than this, does it? Absolutely no rain expected. Whether it is for qualifying or for the race. And the first man out, Cody Lawrence. And now he's going to use his medium tires. Medium set. So right behind Cody Lawrence, we have the Williams of Mr. Carvalho. And is that the cube? No, it is Maxime Beaulieu also right behind them. So the top 3 drivers out currently in their outlaps. Cody Lawrence is going to take it very slow. Eric Cavallo gets past. He's not going to waste any time. Both of those drivers, Cavallo and Beaulieu, are on the soft tires, so they're not wasting any time in that regards. And Cody Lawrence, is he going for a double warm-up lap? That looks like he is launching it. There he goes. So we're going to see how fast his lap compares to Eric Cavallo's. Let's get back on board with him. We saw an onboard with him in Q1. Oh, that's a disappointed error there. It's twice he gets caught out in that sector. Unfortunate for him, he is calling it quits for his quick lap, his first quick lap here in Q2. He definitely has the time to do it again. Cuts the track a little bit, but he's only trying to keep out of the way of Cody Lawrence. And so Maxime Beaulieu to 116.7. Cody Lawrence, there he is at a 116.3. 4/10 difference between him and Beaulieu. Maybe Beaulieu was on the scrubbed soft tires from the previous qualifying session. A significant difference there. Marco Bastien 116.7 as well. And there you go. Well, that might be the reason why. Jake Wan takes the fastest lap in Q2 so far, 116.2. That must have been the newer set of softs. Because if you look at his time compared to everybody else's, I do believe everybody else has scrubbed tires on. Fast lap currently for Marcel Pabst. turns 4 and 5, where you have to be really neat and tidy going around those corners, as you have to do around the hairpin of turn 6. That right-hander, Marcel Paps, was very aggressive on the curbs there. Have to be careful, and depending on the right height, could completely unsettle your car and cause it to go completely haywire. Looks very clean so far for Paps. Around turn 16. And here's 17 as Hudson Poole marks the fastest lap. Will Marcel Paps be able to do any quicker? No. So Hudson Poole, 1:15.911. Marcel Paps, just a little over a tenth behind him, gets P2. So we're starting to see more competitive laps so far. Next across the finish line, I would have thought it was Magnussen Cube. It doesn't look like it is. Ryan Newton is beginning his fast lap. And Kiki Urich, he is on a flyer for his qualifying pace. 1:16.024. That is 6 thousandths of a second quicker than Marcel Paps. Have we found a potential replacement driver for Quinton K, who tends to be very on and off about being the driver for Haas? Definitely Dougie Hamilton, the team principal, might be looking to make a move for next season. Probably looking at one of those two Haas drivers currently, Jake Kwan and Urich, two drivers who have been doing fairly well. They've shown that they have the pace here for Division 1 for next season. Division 1 for it's going to be season 10. Season 10 is going to be, mark my words, a very exciting season. There's a lot of drivers out there joining Division 1 who definitely have the pace, not just to barely make Division 1, but definitely compete in it. Jake Watt is one of those drivers. Urich is one of those drivers. We're going to have the imminent return of Stelios Repas into Division 1 as well. Currently fighting for the championship in Division 2. And very casually, Eric Cavallo, 1:15.6. He just clocks in a time 0.3 quicker than Hudson Poole. Absolutely blistering lap from his part. Cam Moore, next driver to get across the line, and that's going to be a 1:16.2. That's great for him. No time set so far by Cab Levins and Nick Pichet. We're viewing Cab Levins right now. He is in sector 2, around turns 6 he goes. Nick Pichet is still waiting out in the pit lane so far. He's actually just going out on his fast lap. 6 minutes to go. That's a 1:16.1 for Cal Blevins. A very solid lap, just 0.2 behind his teammate and Cody Lawrence. That's a 1:15.5. He's only going to get faster as this night keeps on going. Marco Basset gets P3, 1:15.8. So now we're seeing the drivers back into the 1:15s. On the fresher set of softs, we've just gone past the halfway mark. 6 minutes. A little less than 6 minutes to go in Q2. It's essentially just enough time for the drivers on track to finish their lap if they're on a fast lap and get into the pits and right away launch themselves out for another fast lap, essentially. Most drivers will be going into the pits, and the ones in the pits currently, well, they're not really going to go out right away. They're going to wait a couple minutes for sure. And of course, as I say that, Maxime Beaulieu goes out right away. Or is that Magnussen Cube? Sorry, that's Magnussen Cube. He wants a clear track. It's going to be a tight call. I will see if he's able to go for a third fast lap with 5 minutes to go. I highly doubt it. So unless he's going for a double outlap right now, you have to keep an eye on that. Marcel Paps just crossed the line himself at a 1:16.0. He's actually on his fast lap. If you look at the battery, just look at how quickly that battery drains. And during the racing conditions, that's going to be part of the strategy. We've not spoken about race strategy much as of now. And Marcel is very lucky not to get an invalidated lap there. He is going to... Drivers are going to have to battle and be very careful about how and when they use their battery. Because battery regeneration on this track is just about non-existent. I think Freddie Rizal came in at a 1:16.1. He's got P7. 3 thousandths quicker than Cal Blevins. Him and Cal, obviously. Very similar place all throughout the season. And what do you know? Nick Piché, 1:15.4. The Q2 track evolution most probably is the reason for these times dropping so drastically. Because currently, some drivers are just doing one outlap, just throwing it in there, and they're doing crazy good times. 1:15.4, like I said, Q3 should have something around 1:15.2, 1:15.1 maybe. It also depends if drivers have their teammate in Q3 and maybe decide to make an attempt for a slipstream boost, which could be very helpful down the main straight here in Mexico. However, there are some drivers in trouble already, positions 11 to 15, and that technically includes Mr. Newton here, who's barely improving here so far in Sector 1. Was improving by just about half a hundredth. Technical corners here, he goes. Doesn't lift. Barely lifts on this corner here, just enough to say that he could get an extra grip on those tires. That high downforce working for him. And there you go, he's just about 3/10 improved on his lap. Will that be safe enough for him? We will see. Cutting it close here, but that's going to be a 1:15.7. Look at that, Ryan Newton. Just about found 2/10 in the S sections in Sector 2, and then 3/10 basically in the stadium section of the track in Sector 3, where you go into that stadium and back out. Puts himself in a very comfortable 1:15.7, 4 thousandths off of Marcel Paps. When you look at the time difference between some of these drivers, it is absolutely hysterical how close it is here in Division 1. Now we've got every single driver, we're just about. I guess Marcel Paps has just made it into his garage. I don't know if he'll be quick enough to get it back out. But most drivers, or all drivers, are on their outlaps or on their quick laps. I believe Magnussen Cube so far. Oh, that doesn't look very good for Cube, most definitely. He's invalidated his lap, so he's making way for other cars. So he is done. That will be a 1:15.9. Currently sitting in 8th position. Drivers at risk is from Freddie Rizal down. So Rizal, Blevins, Bourne, Hamrick, and Beaulieu. Top 4 have retired. They're confident about their pace. And we have Jurich back out on a quick lap. Max and Beaulieu about to start his quick lap. So if anybody on their actual lap so far, I don't think so. Everybody's beginning their fast lap right now. $30 to go. Oh, wait a minute. With 30 seconds to go. Yeah, Camborne's going to be the first driver across the line here. So he's just about entered Sector 3, into the stadium section. He ends up. Look at that, Sector 3, just about 3.5 tenths up on his time. He'd be looking at a 1:15.9. That would put him up there in the safe zone if he keeps it clean. Turn 16, on the curb a lot. At a 1:15.8, Cam Bourne P6, again P6, as he had in Q1. Maxime Beaulieu next across the line. So we're going to have Maxime Beaulieu, Freddie Rizal, Hudson Poole, Hamrick, and Urich. I believe Urich has abandoned his lap. He's very slow out, so he's just on the cups of getting eliminated, which could be eliminated by his teammate. Will Maxime Beaulieu improve his time enough? That's a 1:61. It's P12. No, he's eliminated. That is it for him. Freddie Rizal, P7. He is in the clear. He's eliminated Kiki Urich. Next driver across, it's Hudson Poole. He's in the pit, so he's not happy with his lap. He's invalidated indeed. Same as Nick Hamrick. He is eliminated himself. Cal Blevins gets across, P8. P9 for Marco Bastien. And the Haas drivers, let's see if... Will Jaquan make it? Magnussen Cube is officially eliminated. And both Haas drivers are eliminated from Q2. Kiki Urich, who's been having great lap times in Q1 and showed great promise in Q2, suddenly finds himself eliminated. Both teammates, both reserve drivers, both teammates will be starting P12 and P13 once we get done with Q3. So obviously, well, I'm going to say obviously, yes, Nick Piché, an absolutely blistering fast lap there for him. 1:15.4. Cody Lawrence right behind him, and Eric Cavallo. That's their top three. Marcel Paps, Newton, Bourne, and Rizal. Great times from them. Rizal and Blevin, 7 and 8, real close once again. Marco Bastien, P9. We're not used to seeing him for a second qualifying session. I expect him to turn it up in Q3. And Hudson Poole just barely makes it by into Q3. Magnussen Cube, Kiki Urich, Jaquan, Maxime Beaulieu, and Nick Hamrick are our eliminated drivers. Hudson Poole felt the heat on that one. In Q1, he had a slow lap or invalidated his second lap. Was a bit disappointed with that one. He kind of felt the heat, but not so much. However, he definitely felt it in Q2. And here we are in Q3, and the drivers waste no time. Cody Lawrence back out again, the first driver on the track. And who is following him? Is that Eric Cavallo again? Yes, it is. And Ryan Newton. These three drivers waste absolutely no time. The session is only 12 minutes. If you've saved 3 fresh softs, or at least you have 1 scrubbed and 2 fresh softs of 2 fresh sets of soft tires. Gosh, that is difficult to say. Well, you definitely want to get out there as quick as possible, and you have the potential and the time with lap times, quick times being about the 1:15s. You definitely have the opportunity of doing 3 laps here within 12 minutes. And why not going a little bit sideways with Cody Lawrence? Make sure you have the rear tires warmed up, right? Yeah, a lot of drivers staying in the pit, so they don't have that extra set, I don't believe. And there's also Cam Bourne that's delayed his outing, but he is out there already on his set of soft tires. So let's get on board here. Eric Cavallo's on a fast lap, but let's get on board with Cody Lawrence. We'll see what Eric's fast lap will be. He's just ahead of him already at turn 3. Cody Lawrence just hitting 329 kilometers an hour. That's just about 258 miles an hour. Very cleanly and a very tight line. A little bit of a wiggle on the throttle here. Getting off of turn 3 into turns 4 he goes. Clean line. Got to be in complete control of your throttle here. And he's showing just that here. Third gear on the hairpin. In turn 6. Aggressive on the curbs here, just being careful not to push the limits of the car too much. And just about no lift here through the S section. That's going to look like a very clean sector. It most definitely is. Into the stadium he goes. A cheering crowd. Eric Cavallo is going to give us a 115.7. Oh, a little bit of a slip on the rears again for Cody Lawrence. It looks very promising nonetheless, and that's going to be a 115.6. Half a tenth quicker than Eric Cavallo, and just behind Ryan Newton. A little bit under 10th, slower than Eric Cavallo. Our top 3 drivers for now, and as they're completing their lap, everybody else is just about starting theirs. And Cam Bourne definitely had a lot of traffic on the DRS straight between turns 3 and 4. Wondering if that slowed him down. Did that give him a tow? Just saw him on the track map being tossed there into the crowd. Yeah, looking a little bit slower than the top 3 in the ends of Sector 2, who are low 56 seconds. This was a 56.9 for Cam Bourne. We'll see how smooth he can bring it through the stadium section here. Battling the rear a little bit through corners 16 and 17, but that's going to be the 116.2. Indeed, half a second slower than Ryan Newton. So I do believe the traffic slowed him down there. Nick Piquet just went out of the pits. He's staying out there late. Definitely saving a set of soft tires. Who else is on a rapid lap? We've got Kyle Blevins. He's gunning for it. His teammate is right behind him too. Will these two drivers find themselves in a position where the slipstream could be an option? As them and Mercedes are the only set of teammates here in Q3. Somebody's off ahead. I believe that is Nick Piquet letting everybody through. That's it. It's a 57.1 in Sector 2, so that looks to be slower than Cam Bourne for Cal Blevins. Hudson Pool's right behind. That was so close to being track limits there. He's using all the track limits he can as much as possible. So across the line goes Kyle Blevins. How much is he going to give? It's going to be 116.5. Indeed, a slow lap for him. At a 115.6 for 0.082 of a second. Pole position against the Cody Lawrence. And Marco Bastin, who's just a little bit behind there, was just behind Hudson Pool, did the fastest time at a 115.6. However, there is one driver we got to keep an eye on. Nicolas Piquet. What time will he be able to give us? Very clean, very rapid here into the S's in the chicanes of corners 1 to 3. Lowering his car a little bit more aggressively here that we're used to seeing other drivers. Perfect control of the throttle. He's got a Mercedes in front of him. Will the dirty air slow him down a little bit? The line doesn't look as cleanly through Sector 2. Yeah, it's a 156.1. He's definitely lost some time there in that second sector. I think he caught some dirty air from that Mercedes. Nick Piquet so far looks like it's a time that'll be closer to maybe Marcel Paps or Marco Bastin, we'll keep an eye on that. Marcel Paps, 662. Great time for him, too. Oh my goodness, and it's a 1:15.2. Absolutely bonkers of a lap for Nick Piché. Looked like second sector was slower than even Cam Borns, but I guess I'm absolutely wrong on that one. Either that, or either I misread the time, or stadium, he just went right through the stadium and nobody noticed. But that is a 1:15.2. What an absolute blister of a time here for potential pole by the young man. Young teenager here. He's brought many points to Alfa Romeo this season. Definitely a potential top 3 pick next season in the draft. I mean, if you're a team principal next season, that is the question you're asking yourself. Are you going with Nick Piché, Hudson Poole, Cody Lawrence if he's available? You have Ryan Newton as well. You don't want to ignore Marco Bastin. He's definitely a great choice there. You got a lot of options if you're in the top 3 teams for sure. Eric Cavallo is retiring at the end of this race. It'll be his retirement. The father-to-be is hanging up his steering wheel. Family duty calls. 3 minutes to go here in qualifying. And Cody Lawrence is back out. He's seen the times for Nick Piché, and that is a fast time. And he wants to clear track. He wants to have the opportunity now to see if he can beat it. Cody Lawrence, if he wants to hit pole, he's got over 0.4 of a second that he needs to find between a 1:15.2 and 1:15.6. Cam Born also on his outlap currently. Marcel Paps also back out in the pits. Most drivers would be coming out at the 2-minute 25 marks, or at the 2-minute mark at the latest. And as we're seeing real quickly, oh yeah, a lot of drivers coming out of the pits now. So Cody Lawrence, that means Cody Lawrence is going to be doing his fast lap. Chances are he's going to have traffic probably between turns 3 and 4. That little DRS section there, the second part of the double DRS. Now for the race, if you're behind a driver just around here, you're actually in the stadium, the detection point. You get the DRS all the way through this main street here, but you also get the DRS on the second zone automatically. A little bit very similar to Canada. Aggressive through that bump. You want to be careful not to be throttling it on the sausage curb, otherwise it'll unsettle the car. And yeah, this is going to be through a tight section. It'll be the responsibility of the drivers in front of Cody to make sure to keep out of the way. Cody is coming in blisteringly fast. That's Freddie Rizal out of the way. And the second sector looks like the Red Bulls are setting themselves up for a tow, as is the Mercedes. And there's a minute left. Well, these drivers going to be in the way of Cody. The Red Bulls are one behind another. They absolutely want to do everything to get Hudson Poole on a pole position there. A lot more aggressive on the curb, on the inside curb here, turn 16, or 15 I should say, for Cody Lawrence compared to other drivers. And that'll be his fastest time. He's got a 1:15.4. He's improved, but not enough for pole. He won't do any better than P2. Nick Piché currently on an outlap. Let's keep an eye on Hudson Poole. Is he giving a tow to Cal? That's going to be an interesting call. I believe maybe I didn't see them switch around, but they're still very close to each other. Cal Blevins, almost 0.4 of improvement, but he's got the slowest time by far, by with 1:16.5. He's got to improve on that time. Let's keep an eye on Hudson Poole, where his time is actually in Sector 2. Who is faster there? Cam Bourne just got a P3 with 115.5. Marco Basset is actually behind, so it would be Ryan Newton. I believe that it got the toe. He's 0.3 up on his time. Hudson Poole, I just missed it, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Ryan Newton is set to give, well, it should be a decent time, especially through this sector here. Actually, we can just keep an eye on it because he's currently sitting P8. It's going to be a 115.3 for him. That puts him in P2. Marco Bastet in P7. Hudson Poole in P6. Kyle Blevins is P10. It won't get any better. Well, Eric Cavallo, he's got 0.2 on his time. He's looking at 115.5. Could he get maybe B3 in front of him? He does it. 115.397, just faster than Cody Lawrence. And Cody, well, he's on a slow lap on his end. So he is into the pits. I believe he's just out of fuel. And Nick Pichet did it second fast time. They didn't improve on his. But he will be our pole leader to begin this race. Nick Pichet. Absolutely ready for this crazy start of a race. Nick Pichet, Ryan Newton, Eric Cavallo, Cody Lawrence, Cam Bourne, Marcel Paps, Hudson Poole, and a little bit of a disappointing qualifying from Ferrari here. And the Red Bull, for the P7. Marco Basset again. It's like I think that's 3 P8s in a row, or just about. And Freddie Rizal, Cal Blevins. Well, we've spoken about them numerous times for both of these drivers, and yeah, actually Freddie Rizal and Marco Basset have the exact same time here in Q3. But once again, they are starting next to each other, Freddie and Kyle. This time, Alpine and Red Bull are tied in the combined constructors. That is going to be an interesting rivalry to keep an eye on. I would assume the drivers are going to be extra careful to avoid incidents. They need every single kind of point they can get tonight for combined constructors, which will be officially played out tomorrow in D2. Boy, I couldn't wait for all these qualifying sessions to end because, well, it's a solo broadcasting for me again, and I need the adult beverage. And keep an eye on what kind of tire strategies we're going to see. Expect a lot of hard and medium tires to begin the race. Will there be somebody who wants to get on the soft tires? I kind of expect a driver like Cam Bourne, maybe. He's gotten us used to be using the alternate kind of strategy in regards to tires. Ah, yes, Mr. Mechanic. Adult beverage time. Let's go. Absolutely. We've got time. Weather reports once again bright and sunny. And I'm hoping it's going to be exactly that kind of weather for my vacation time come April in Cancun. Because, yes, your broadcaster needs vacation. If I could stay as far away from you guys as possible. Oh, yeah, the race is starting. Look at that. And the red lights are up. And out they go. Away we go. The Mexican Grand Prix, the finale here in Division 1 has begun. It is a monstrous launch for Ryan Newton. He's got the inside line just on the inside of Nick Pichet. And will Eric Cavallo be looking to do the same kind of move? Let's keep an eye on that. Look, it's just going to go 3 wide inside turn 1. Are they going to be able to keep it clean? Eric Cavallo looking to take all the space as possible, and he gets turned around by Ryan Newton. And spun around. The Brazilian driver is now P20. Very aggressive into the first 2 corners he went. And that contact slowed both of those drivers down. It lets loose Nick Pichet. Cody Lawrence is right behind. Let's keep an eye on D tires. Everybody's on hards except the medium runners of Freddie Rizal, Jaquan, and Anand Trivedi, who are making moves happen up into 7th position. Freddie Rizal, so far, it's working for him. There's been some bumps and incidents, minor incidents so far in the midfield. Hudson Poole's fallen down to P17. Doesn't seem to have any visible damage on his front wing. It is not the start they wanted here in Red Bull. As it's the complete opposite for the Alpines. Freddie Rizal in P7 and Tinel in P14. And the first lap is done, led by Nick Piquet still. Cam Bourne in P4. I believe it was in P6 at the beginning of this race. Let's take a look on that. It was in P5, so that is a position gained on his part. 3 positions gained for Freddie Rizal. Look at Tino, 5 gains. Great battle also between Kiki Juric and Maxime Beaulieu, who both gained 3 and 4 places respectively. Absolutely horrible starts for Eric Cavallo and Hudson Poole. Didn't catch the Hudson Poole incident. I don't know if he was tagged or if he just got caught up with Eric Cavallo being sideways on the track down there in turn 3. Bit disappointing for Jaquan as well. He's down in P17. The driver who's his first race with us, he got a podium. Finds himself, I think, the lowest on the grid we've ever seen him so far in his 3 races. Keep an eye on him. What can he do to get back on track or overtake from the Beamer? Anand Trivedi on Tino, making those medium tires work. They definitely have the extra grip in this sector. And Ryan Newton absolutely using all of his battery as much as he can, trying to keep up with Nick Piquet. And Nick Piquet is doing that same thing again. So very shockingly, the drivers who are at least the top 5 have been very aggressive on their ERS deployment. We'll see what kind of results that gives, but definitely Nick Piquet is going to be away from the DRS as much as possible. Is that far enough to be away from Slipstream? However, that long straight is absolutely critical if you want to make overtakes happen. It is very difficult to make overtakes happen in this sector here. And the DRS strain starts again. Definitely starting from this time just about P2 or P3, I should say. Ryan Newton's gapped Cody Lawrence enough to be away from his DRS. He's not been able to catch up to Nick Piquet and the Alfa Romeo. Far ahead in front of him. Cam Bourne overtaking for a podium position here. He had the opportunity here with the slipstream, and it's going to be a bit of an action here between him and Cody Lawrence. Will he be able to securely claim that position here? The inside line on P4, he does. Cody Lawrence is going to stay behind him. So a lot of position switches are going to happen on that main straight just before getting into turn 1. Cam Bourne has been making it work for him. And shockingly enough, it's not because he went on the medium tires. He just has that pace here in Mexico. He's in a podium position. Nathan Doan is going to be absolutely ecstatic so far with that result. If he can keep it. Cody is known to be a more patient driver. And Freddie Rizal. Freddie's in P5. My goodness. Freddie was... Hang on, where was Freddie at? He was P9 at the start of this race. Well, the medium tires are definitely working. Let's get on board with Freddie. Will he be able to make a move happen here on Cody Lawrence? Obviously, both of those drivers have the DRS on the driver in front of them. Cody Lawrence is having a look maybe on the inside of Cam Bourne. Freddie kind of doing the same thing, but he's going to stay bit more conservative about it. But he's got the pace to follow them. Definitely has the DRS again on Camborne. Cody not making any moves happen here. And Freddy's probably waiting just for that to happen. He wants that move to be made by Cody on Camborne so he could take advantage of the situation. So great racing so far by the young man who, we'll say it has the highest DNF rate in the league over the past 2 seasons. But when Freddy is on his game, let me tell you, he is on his game and absolutely able to rock it, and that's what he's doing right now. Will he be able to do so for the next 31 laps? The driver who's got to stay out of his head as much as possible. Behind him, the Ferrari of Marcel Pabst. Good qualifying so far, struggling a little bit on the racing pace in general this season. We're used to seeing Marcel Pabst in the top 5. And again, is Freddy Rizal going to make the move happen? This could be for a double overtake. He's going to make the move on Camborne. Does he have it on the inside of Cody Lawrence? It's going to be close, but no, he doesn't make it happen. He's going to have DRS again, as will the Aston Martin. So it's a 2 positions loss for Camborne. Well, he was caught out lacking the DRS to defend himself, and that is the key point in this Grand Prix. And Freddy Rizal is in P4. I'm curious to see the opposite action where he's going to be on the hards and everybody else on the mediums. What kind of result is that going to yield? However, out of all the drivers on the medium tires so far, he is making it work. 5 positions gained for him. Also 7 positions gained for Anand Trivedi, who started P19. He's now P11. Great work for him. It's gone sideways for Jay Kwan on the medium tires. He's not making any gains. Actually going backwards for him. And Anand Trivedi, the Beamer, he's going to be struggling a little bit because now he's got a gap between him and that Magnussen Cube that's formed. That's 2 seconds. So drivers behind him aren't going to be in position to be overtaking him. Freddy Rizal is also in a position to make another overtake, and that's going to be for the podium position. There's no defense there by Cody Lawrence. He knows very well he's got the top speed there for Freddy Rizal, and the Alpine driver is in podium positions. 7 laps into this race, he's got the tire advantage. Will he be able to catch Ryan Newton? Just 2 seconds to catch up to him. Anything's possible in regards to this driver. And behind, well, quite shockingly, Anand Trivedi has only lost a single position. And that's to the likes of Maxime Beaulieu. Cap Evans also in P8. We're observing a battle between the Alpines and the Red Bulls. So far, the Red Bulls are doing okay, but not enough. Freddy Rizal absolutely carrying Alpine on his back with a P3 position as of lap 7. Just about to be lap 8 here. Tino struggling a little bit in the back. And there's a battle between Hudson, side by side, Hudson and Nathan Doan. Oh, this is not a typical overtaking opportunity here. And who's going to have the DRS? That's what I'm wondering. Who's got the DRS in this kind of situation? Looks like these 3 drivers don't have it. Or no, he does. Nathan Doan's absolutely vulnerable. And Eric Cavallo also has been a lot more aggressive on the battery for the overtake. And Hudson Poole kind of lets them go for it. And he's going to try to take advantage of the next DRS zone. Here, he's not used just about any of his DRS deployment. And look at these drivers. There's a bit of a contact. Eric Cavallo really throwing his car inside some of these corners there. A little bit of a tap with Nathan Doan. And Hudson Poole is going to go on the inside of turn 6. Can he make it stick? A little bit too squirrely on the rears. And that opens up the opportunity for TNL to attack him. He's all over the inside of Nathan Doan. This is not a typical overtaking point. And somehow, and I'm pretty sure there was a little bit of a contact and a shove there. And TNL completely loses it in the back. Oh, massive incident there. And is there damage? No, there's no damage, luckily for Tino, but he's completely went off track there. Sadly for him. Great action up front. We kind of missed out on a P4 or P3 overtake from Cody Lawrence back on Freddie Rizal. And maybe Freddie's tires are starting to be a little bit more worn there. And the tempo is shifting towards the hard runners. I gotta say, I mean, there's a lot of things happening this race. First of all, Ryan Newton is just about to be back into the DRS zone of Nick Piché. Actually, as of now, oh my goodness, will he be able to make it? I think he has it. And if Ryan Newton could get back into DRS, and he does it, very aggressive on the battery, that could mean he'll be fighting back for the lead of this race. And meanwhile, all the way in the back, Freddie Rizal all over the gearbox of Cody Lawrence, putting on a show. The midfield is absolutely on fire. There's so much action going on. You kind of ignore the top two drivers, however. Look at the gap closing between Ryan Newton, 8/10 at the beginning of this main straight, and look at it melting away. Nick Piché can't do anything against that. From 8/10, it's gapped down almost by half, and just on this main straight, Ryan Newton is going to have the DRS again. I'm not sure what explains that sudden, if there was something that happened between Nick Piché. Oh, and there's an incident in Sector 1. What's going on? Cal Blevins. Cal Blevins has gone down to P13. He's lost 5 positions. Either in a battle with Marcel Paps or Magnussen Cube. Cal was in P8, finds himself P13, and now both Red Bulls, 13 and 14, is absolutely not where they want to be for this Division 1 race. Tied in points for the combined constructors with Alpine. Well, that means Freddie, with his P4, essentially would give them the lead. Ten laps into this race, we will see how the medium tire will fare against the hards. Cal Blevins with a 3-second time penalty. His race is going from bad to worse. And it'll be another overtake for P3. The rocket of the Alpine. We were warned before this race started that Freddie had a rocket ship for a car. Well, seemingly he's making it work. And Cam Bourne still in P5. It's a great result for the McLaren driver. Again, the kind of race where Cam Bourne just takes advantage of great positioning. And is definitely trying. These drivers are trying their best to harvest battery power. Bastet is doing a decent job. Marcel Paps is doing an absolutely great job. And that will be possibly his opportunity to do some overtaking happen. But a lot of the drivers are below 25%. And it is very difficult to harvest any kind of battery power in this race here. Will we see a change in the lead? Ryan Newton being behind Nick Piché was being able to harvest a little bit more power here. And we're just a little under 610, so watch that the interval completely melt away. Oh yeah. Ryan Newton is being very conservative. He is not going for the overtake. Contrary to Cody and Freddie, who are both switching positions. Cam Bourne almost definitely had a small contact between him and Freddie Rizal, who got a little bit pinched, and now it's Marco Basset. He's going to go on the inside on Cam Bourne. Will he outbrake him for the inside line? He does, but he doesn't have the inside on turn 5. And will keep his 6th position. Definitely had an attempt there on Cam Bourne. Cam Bourne defended successfully. Not a lot of overtaking action as of late, but so far, the story of tonight is a battle brewing between Nick Piché and Ryan Newton. Freddie Rizal absolutely rocketing his car past everybody and into P4. And Andretti doing similarly the same thing, gaining 9 positions. And I gotta be quite honest, I'm rather surprised that he's still in P10. He doesn't have any drivers in front of him with DRS, so how is he staying in front of everybody? Something tells me he's got a low downforce car, and that plays to his strength. Let's see how Era... He's going to go for the overtake. Will Maxime Beaulieu try to make a move as well? On the inside of Anand Trivedi, he does as well. Beamer not using any of his battery to defend himself. That's just 2 positions lost for him. And right behind, you got 2 Red Bulls chasing you down. Cal Blevins, he's on the inside of Anand Trivedi. There's a little bit of a contact there, wheel-to-wheel contact. Pushing Beamer out of the way a little bit. However, still, oh, this is going to be a close one. Turn 6. And officially, Cal Blevins makes it past Anand Trivedi in a heated battle between turn 4 and 7. And into the S sections here in Sector 2. Cal wants to do anything and everything he can to catch back up to Maxime Beaulieu. Get back into the battle for the top 10 positions at least. As does Hudson Poole, but again, Hudson Poole being very conservative on the battery here. And Anand Trivedi is going to make a move again. And you can see the top speed. Well, Cal has absolutely nothing to defend himself. And Beamer back into P12 after losing multiple positions. Ahead. Still Nick Piché. However, Ryan Newton has been harvesting his battery, probably saving some fuel in the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo driver. Ryan Newton, our Division 1 champion who was crowned last week. He wants to end this race in a good note. Cody Lawrence himself, back as a reserve driver. I gotta say, Cody Lawrence looks great in green for Aston Martin. We haven't seen Aston Martin doing so well in a bit. In P3. Ooh, a little bit of a slip there on the rear wheels. It's already getting slippery for the hards on 14 lap old hards. I'm curious to see how it's going to feel on the medium tires. Freddie Rizal, who's got the DRS and he's got the slipstream to catch up to Cody. Will it be enough to get past him? He's definitely not going on the offensive, being very conservative here. And I'm thinking we should expect to see Freddie Rizal into the pits, or any of the medium tire runners into the pits very soon. I suspect near lap 16. Hudson Poole makes a double overtake happen. Gets past his teammate of Cal Blevins and Anand Trivedi. Cal Blevins is going to try to make a move as well. Maybe on the inside of Anand Trivedi once again. Same kind of situation as last lap. And there's a sector yellow flag. And that is Tino. What's going on with Tino? It's another spin off of turn 3. Not the race he was hoping for. A driver who's going to be competing for the championship in Division 2 tomorrow night is not having a great race so far in Division 1. 6 seconds of penalty acquired so far for him. And there you go. Another one. Because why not? And I believe that's going to... Yeah, looking at the way he's racing it, I'm wondering if he's going to go return to the pits. He's not really throttling it much. Up in front, though, Ryan Newton again. Again, just lifting a little bit. Lifting and coasting into turn 1. Cody Lawrence once again still in P3, and there's more positions being being made, and suddenly Maxime Beaulieu has gotten overtaken by Hudson Poole, who is on the move. He's making those worn tires work for him. Passed Anand Trivedi earlier, last lap, past Maxime Beaulieu, and in the back, well, it's Jaquan and Nick Hamrick, who are both into the pits. Out on softs does Jaquan go. There's no way Jaquan is going to make those soft tires work for 20 laps. He's expecting a safety car, or at least hoping for one. So he's throwing a Hail Mary at best. Nick Hamrick is on the medium tires. So he started on hards. He's one of the first drivers from hards onto mediums. He's going to try to go 20 laps on the medium tires. I'm curious to see how that's going to work. And obviously, as predicted, Tino is retired his car into the pits. Lap 17 out of 36. We're just almost halfway into this race. Cody Lawrence, again, will he have to defend against Freddie Rizal? Is Freddie going for it? He's definitely is. And that's going to be a 4-call battle. Freddie, Cody Lawrence, Cam Bourne, and Marco Bastin, all 4 drivers battling it through it. Turns 1s and 3. Freddie Rizal comes out P1. Bastin makes the overtake happen on Cam Bourne as well. And there's a Ferrari of Marcel Paps, eternally P7 since the beginning of this race. Just hanging back, just watching this all happen, not really partaking in the action. Has he used any battery? No, he hasn't. He's just kind of there for now, but he expect him to begin making moves happen sooner than later. And I think it's going to start now with Cam Bourne. Look at the Ferrari being aggressive and trying to get the fastest speed out of that corner. Marcel Paps could have had a move on the inside made, but he's going to be very conservative still. He has the battery advantage to make it happen. We've got a 5-car battle here. Look at this. And all 5 different teams. That's what's the fun and crazy part about it. And Cam Bourne into the pits. So Cam Bourne says, I'm done with these tires. He's going to the pits, as is Magnussen Cube. Marcel Paps finally gets an overtake, but look at this. Look at the gap suddenly created between him and Bastin. He's going to have to catch up a little bit. Should be able to do so without too much of an issue. He's also got the DRS again. It's a double DRS zone here. Once you get the DRS detection at your favor off of turns 15, you have it all through the main straight and for the DRS section between turns 3 and 4. So P1 and P2 are just drivers waiting to fight each other. Newton's just kind of coasting along, recharging his battery, taking advantage of the slipstream. Cody and Freddie, they're both drivers who are going to be fighting each other. Freddie got past Cody just a moment ago. Cody got right back into it. Back into P3 he goes. And Paps is going to be the next driver of that pack into the pit lane. So Marcel Paps, just about not using his battery, not trying to make any kind of overtakes happen. And as soon as the driver in front of him overtakes or goes into the pits, he decides to cover off the undercut from Cam Bourne. And where will Cam Bourne come out? Well, he's got the DRS. Oh, no, he doesn't, but he's got the slipstream off of Jack Fletcher. And comfortably farther ahead of Marcel Paps. So I think Paps' conservatism maybe just shot himself in the foot there. And a lot of drivers back into the pits. Maxime Beaulieu, Kai Guo, Nathan Doan onto the medium tires. Really interesting to see the drivers in the back still already getting off the hard tires and onto the mediums. Freddie Rizal is still making it work so far on his 18-lap old medium tires. He's definitely got to be feeling it right now on the rears. But as is every driver, 18 laps on any sorts of tires. The tire wear is not very high here in Mexico, but you definitely feel it on the rears. And Ryan Newton is in. So he's going to try to make it work with the undercut. And he's got full battery as well compared to the 30% for Nick Pichet. Oh my goodness. So let's keep an eye on that. I think Ryan has got the move, putting himself in a great position. Oh, what's happened here? That's a ghosted Rosell who's losing positions now. Looks like he's game crashed or he's disconnected from the server, whatever it is. All that work he's put into, and sadly for him, hopefully gets back into the game as quick as possible. That is 2 positions lost to Cody Lawrence and Bastien. Oh, how unfortunate for Freddie Rosell. So far, Cal Blevins P7 with 19 laps. He's just about 8 seconds behind Freddie Rosell. So, given that the Alpine driver's car is now driven by an AI, he'll try to take advantage of that situation. Hudson Pool's on fresh mediums. He's now P15. And Eric Cavallo is going to take advantage. He's in P4. And into the pits. Well, everybody's into the pits. There you go. So Nick Pichet's into the pits, onto mediums. Cody Lawrence is doing the same thing. So let's get on board with Ryan. And look at where that's going to put him. Activates his rocket boosters. And that's Nick Pichet right behind him coming out of the main straight. And there's just about a 1.5 second gap between Ryan and Nick Pichet. And now Nick is going to have to warm up those tires as well. So he's just going to be losing more time. Look at that. 1.7. And Freddie is back in. He's got the fresh tires. Oh, no. Oh, Freddie, I'm so sorry. He's got soft tires on to finish this race. So he's going to gain control of his car right in the middle of a battle. His AI pitted him, but not for medium, sadly. I don't think that's the strategy he wanted. He most probably wanted to go on the hard tires. He's going to have to make the soft tires work. Only driver not to have pitted, who's currently leading, Kiki Urich. Great qualifying times. Will he be going into the pit lane? No, but you could tell he's got to battle his rears as he's going around turn 17. Almost like a Lance Stroll kind of moment where he had a massive crash coming out of that corner. Well, lap 22 of 36. At the end of the day, everybody except Kiki Urich have made their tire switch. The pit strategies are complete. Hudson Pool just climbs into 9th position past Maxime Beaulieu. Cam Bourne and Marcel Paps are now battling each other. Marcel Paps seems so far behind Cam Bourne after being undercut. And now he is back in a position to get past Cam for P4. Ultimately, Ryan Newton just gets past the Haas driver. Urich is going to be in the pits. So he's going to come out way into traffic. But look at this. Look at Ryan Newton's gap between him and Nick Pichet. Both of them absolutely using everything they got battery power wise, but the gap they've created themselves between Cam Bourne and Marcel Paps is absolutely huge. So we've got 2 sets of battles going on, 3 sets actually, because look at this. Cody Lawrence has now have to defend himself against Magnussen Cube. I was kind of surprised to see Magnussen Cube there, but he's making it work. He's into the DRS of Cody, and that's kind of just propulsing him in front into this battle. And now Bastier's got to do that extra effort to get back into the DRS of Magnussen Q, which is just about done. Nick Piquet has caught up to Ryan Newton significantly. I wonder if Newton had a bit of a moment there at some point, but Piquet is purposely staying behind Newton, as Newton did to him early in this race. A little bit over 10 laps to go. Well, 12 laps to go, actually. Marcel Paps gets the move made. Bastet also makes a position overtake, and somebody's in the back has had a moment, and it looks to be Cam Bourne. Nick Hamrick has retired in the pits, so maybe it was just Nick Hamrick. So that is it for the Williams driver. Didn't have time to see anything happening there. So that's a retirement into the pits. Cody Lawrence in P5. He's got to defend from Bastain, who's going at him, not now, but within the next 2 laps at least. So gaps have been created, but small pockets of battles are being made. Ryan versus Nick, Paps versus Bourne. Behind, you're going to have Cody Lawrence, who has to battle Bastet. Cube's going to try to keep within that fight. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do so. And here it is, Nick Piquet in the lead. So Ryan Newton's undercut seems to have worked magically. Nick Piquet very quickly came back into it, claiming the lead of this race once again. Let's keep an eye here on Freddie Rizal, who got absolutely unlucky with either a game crash or being disconnected or whatnot. Zero luck this season. Absolutely zero luck. And I bet he's already feeling it in his tires. Soft tires are very performing here in Mexico. It's once it starts to get worn out, the rears tend to have absolutely no grip. And right now, well, one driver who's making it work for him is Kiki Urich. The very last driver going to the pits. He's going to have the freshest set of medium tires. And he is looking to set himself up for an overtake on the main straight on Freddie Rizal. As we're seeing a bit of a return there for the Haas driver, Urich going for P11. Jake Wan still in P18. Now having a great race. We're used to much better. Both Haas drivers having a 3-second time penalty. And there he goes, P11 for Urich. Not any changes in the top 6 as of now. Suddenly, the combined constructors, despite not being blown away by a crazy gap, is going to the advantage of the Red Bulls. Hudson Pool's P9 and Cal Blevins P16 combined for more points than Freddie Rizal's P12. Sadly for them, Tino retired. So in a very important battle, even if Tino at least got that 1 point, well, you have 1 race left, that 1 point can make the difference. Tino has retired into the pits way earlier on, has not completed 90% of the race, so that is no points for him. Now, what has happened? Interesting enough. I really wonder what's happened there. We've just spotted Cam Bourne going slow on the main straight. Looks like he's lost. I don't know if that was done on purpose or what is going on. Seemed slow in the main straight, kind of lost the gap to Marcel Paps, and maybe instead of fighting it, he let Cody Lawrence get past him. And he's going to attempt to stay within the DRS of Cody in order to gain the pace, because this definitely was very low on the battery. But look at this. Cody is very close to gapping him already. Cam Bourne's got to be using all the battery he has, and yeah, it doesn't look very good for him. And Cody's got absolutely turned it up. He's got absolutely great pace. He's all over the gearbox of Marcel Paps, and he's going to make this overtake happen. Marcel's got nothing to defend with. No lights flashing, so he's just not using his battery, I believe. And into P3, back into a podium position, Cody Lawrence. Great drive by officially a reserve driver, but an ex-Division 1 champion with Cody here. Marcel Paps in his current P4. If he does get it, I believe that would be his second podium of the season if he's able to keep up with Cody. Nick Pichet and Newton. Well, we're back in the beginning of the race where Newton was just hanging back, letting Pichet drag him on, setting up for possibly the last lap overtake. And in the back, I don't know what's going on with Cam Bourne, but his race is going backwards as of now. I don't know if he took some damage on his front wing, and that's causing him issues. But right now, behind him, Marco Bastien is going to be all over him, as is Eric Cavallo. And I'm sure he's being a little bit more careful of straight line overtakes on Bastien since China. Back on board with Era. And this is a three-way battle. Era's going to send it on the inside. Will he make the move stick on Bastien? It really limits the option here. And Bastien goes fully across the track. Eric Cavallo has to go off track to avoid a larger incident. So both of these drivers with China in mind, most definitely not giving each other much space. It's hard racing, and Eric Cavallo's got the better grip as well. Much better grip on this S section. He's got the higher downforce. And look at him trying everything he can. Launches it on the inside, and again, wheel-to-wheel contact. And Bastien is not giving him anything at all. Almost ready to push him into the wall, and that's basically what's happening with Bastien. Look at the time they've lost. And it's not over yet. Into turn one, they go. No battery left for Era whatsoever. Again, trying to close the door. Bastien really is fighting for the racing line, not for his own space. That is absolutely wild battling, and history between these two is just being shown here on track. The salt between them is absolutely real. And Bastien will do anything he can to the limits of the legality to keep Era behind him. That may open the door for Hudson Poole behind. And once again, and I think this move will be made here, Eric Cavallo's got the straight line speed. There's no DRS for Bastet there. And again, almost a contact between both of them. Playing nice is definitely not into these guys' vocabulary between each other. And we had crazy rivalries this season between Freddy Rizal and Cal. Well, Carvalho and Bastet is another rivalry, most definitely. And a 3-second time penalty for Bastet. And now it's going to be Hudson Pool. I'm just curious to see, especially, and I know there's maybe some battles going on across the tracks, but these are the main ones. I'm just curious to see Hudson Pool. Will he be able to get past Bastet as easily as with Carvalho? And I use the word easily very sarcastically here. As again, there's a bit of a battle, a bit of weaving, a lot of weaving actually between Cam Bourne trying to break the toe between him and Era. People are making Era's life very difficult on track with for his last race. He's retiring at the end of this race. Hudson Pool potentially making a move there on Bastet, and he's not going to make it. And Era on the inside line, basically, I think there was a bit of a bump there on Cam Bourne. Cam Bourne's been lacking grip. He's got was one of the first drivers to go in for the medium tires. Well, 14 laps on mediums compared to 11 laps old. You could tell the difference in grip is very, very large. Suddenly, Cam Bourne's race is going backwards. I suspect he's hit that 25% mark. And I don't think he has DRS in front of him. We're going to see if he does on Era. But if not, he might lose 2 positions. Yeah, no DRS to defend himself. So into P6 Bastet goes. And Hudson Pool didn't make it happen either. A lot of track penalties so far this race. Drivers who DNF'd had multiple. And Marcel Paps, P4, was suddenly the last driver to get that track limit penalty, 3-second time penalty, while he's just about to press Cody Lawrence for a podium position. Now, if he gets that overtake happen within the next 3 laps, he's got to gain 3-second gap between him and Cody. I don't think that's going to be possible, not with this kind of track layout. However, Eric Cavallo, he's got the grip, and he's definitely catching up within the 3-second time mark of him and Paps for the P4. And Hudson Pool gets past Cam Bourne as well. Still within DRS in front of him and Marco Bastet. Closing the gap. And behind them, Kiki Juric and Magnus and Cube, both of them battling each other. I believe Juric just made an overtake on Cube. And these two are battling it out, have been battling it out lap after lap, overtake after overtake. Kai Guo and Anand Trivedi. Sadly for Beamer, his race has been going backwards ever since. Well, backwards, I say backwards in the sense that his medium tires had a lot of performance in them early in the race. We're 2 laps to go, and he's finding himself still in P14. His hard tires not giving him the performance he wants. The gap in performance between hards and mediums are quite significant. And sadly for Freddy, he's going to do what he can to catch up to Maxime Beaulieu for P11. A driver who should be battling for, I would say, P5 currently. Well, it's not happening. Sadly, to a disconnection. And will there be a move made here? Hudson Poole on Bastien. It looks like he's lifting, just keeping it very conservatively. He's setting up the overtake for the next lap. There's no point in pushing it. He won't catch past Eric Cavallo, so he's going to do everything he can for that P6, which would increase his haul of points so that he could get himself into or increase the lead for Red Bull versus Alpine. What looked so promising for Alpine earlier tonight with Freddy Rizal battling for P4. A reminder, it's tied in the Constructors or the Combined Constructors Championship between Alpine and Red Bull currently. And now we've got to watch these guys. Nick Pichet, there's a bit of a battery gap between Pichet and Newton. Newton is going to go all out right now. It's lap 35. That's about to happen. Both drivers using all their batteries. You can tell Ryan Newton has got about 13 kilometers an hour extra pace at the end of this main straight. Oh, and the rears are slipping, and that may have cost him the position there. He really threw the car into turn 2, and the rears kind of slipped up a little bit. Suddenly, Pichet's got the advantage. That may have been, that small, the tiniest little mistakes could have cost him the win. We keep an eye on that in the back. Great battle between Cody Lawrence and Marcel Paps. Obviously, Paps has got the 3-second time penalty. However, Eric Cavallo is closing in on the Ferrari driver. And Hudson Poole officially gets into 6th position as predicted a lap earlier with the extra DRS. He has made it work on Bastien, Camborne in P8. And how will this season end between Nick Pichet and Ryan Newton as Kiki Juric is just collecting time penalties as they were stamps? You might want to sell them on the aftermarket after this race. But officially, it's going to end with a Nick Pichet win here in Mexico. The Alfa Romeo driver with an outstanding drive. Ryan Newton in P2. Cody Lawrence, our quote-unquote reserve driver who's not going to race next year, but he's going to be here nonetheless. P3. Eric Cavallo in P4 after the penalty attributed to Marcel Paps. Hudson Poole P6. Camborne in P7. Magnussen Cube P8. Marco Bastien in P9. He's lost several positions, and I'm not quite sure why. Maxime Beaulieu in 10th. Rizal in 11th. Really unlucky situation for him, I gotta say. Patota Skin in P12. Beamer in P13. And the rest of the drivers, I'll let you know in just a second. Interviews coming after the standings. Driver of the day to Eric Cavallo. Definitely made a lot of overtakes happen, especially when it counted the most near the end of the race. And real quick, after Nanchevetti, well, Kiki Juric, look at that, 12-second penalty accumulated, puts him down in P14. Nathan Doan P15, Cal Blevins P16, Jake Ron in P17, Jack Fletcher in P18 are our race finishers. Nick Hammer Cantino have retired in the pits on a race where there has been no safety cars. Man, this race went by really quick, despite having a full qualifying. Alright, well, stay tuned for interviews. We will have all top three drivers with us in just a moment. All right, well, we have our P3 finisher of Cody Lawrence into the broadcast booth with us. Welcome aboard, Cody. Once again, it's a reserve drive for you, but it's a P3 finish. Tyler, walk us through this race and how this one went for you.
Man, I think there's a good saying for races like this. The last race you did was the toughest race you ever did, and today, maybe that's not correct English, but the gist of it is that was a very, very tough one for me to gut out. I just didn't feel like I had the pace for P3. I had to kind of scratch and claw and fight as hard as I could to hang on for that. I mean, it helped in the end. The eruption had the penalty. I don't know if it was legit or not. I was trying to race it like it wasn't, and I had to fight him for it. But man, I gave it all I had. Just congrats to Nicholas Pichet and Ryan Newton. Had me beat. I did my best to stay with them in the first stint, and they had me beat quite simply. I gave it all I had, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to ask you the question because I have a feeling I know the answer, but I'm gonna do my job anyways. I have to ask
Of course.
it. For
Of
the
course.
public's interest, what is upcoming for you next year? Is that determined? Is that not determined? Because let me let you know, Division One next season looks to be a very competitive one.
I am too old for this, man. I got my proverbial behind handed to me by Nicholas and Ryan, and Mexico makes me look a little bit better than I actually am because I love that. I love this circuit. I love this track, and I wouldn't be very competitive. I'd be a field filler, and I'm not here to field fill. Put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see you at the draft then. And
You try to conjure it into existence. I respect it, sir.
listen,
I do not. I do not.
I feel I've
did not
seen this
anticipate it
before,
bring
but you
up
know,
that way.
you're always active in this community nonetheless, whether it's an engineer or in different roles. You know,
Absolutely.
so we know you're around nonetheless, even if we don't talk to you every day, if we don't see you on track. You definitely brought, you know, Mercedes due to your engineering, you know, championships because both driver and constructors. So we'll see what kind of success you can bring that team in the upcoming seasons. Congratulations
We'll
again
see
on
if
your
I'm still
P3.
here.
Yeah,
We'll see
absolutely.
if I'm still here. You talk me
That'll
up
be-
and big me up and make me into a thing I am not. I respect you and I love you, but the drivers do their job. I just try to help them. You big me up too much. I respect it. I should hire you to write my CV.
Oh, absolutely. Well, listen, everywhere you go, you're either you or people you influence are winning. So that's the story of the last couple seasons, whether you like it or not. So we'll see where that brings you. Congratulations again for your P3, and we'll see you in a near or far future, whichever it is. That is all up to
We
you.
will find out.
Absolutely.
You and I know as much as I do at this moment. So get Ryan in, get Nicholas in. You don't need to talk to an old man no more. Have a good night. Thanks, Rob.
Absolutely. Yeah, Cody's right. Just talking to them makes my back hurts. I feel so old compared to these guys. Ryan Newton, P2, he fought all along this race with Nicholas Pichet. Tried to harvest his battery behind him for most of the race. Tried the undercut. Seems none of it happened. It worked out for you this race. Walk us through this race and what was going through your mind strategy-wise.
Yeah, I had no idea when to pit. I kind of just pit whenever. But yeah, Nicholas had good pace. I think he was running just a bit less wing than me, and I think he's a bit stronger in the straight. I don't think much would have changed even if I overtook him earlier. 'Cause I think I don't think I had the pace. I don't think I had enough pace to gap him. I think maybe might have been just a bit faster, but just not fast enough to gap or anything. But yeah, Jesus to him, he had good pace. Cody was pushing really hard. If anybody who's in the call could hear this, he's pushing his heart out. But GG's to all the podium guys.
Yeah, look, it was a very big season for you, and officially coming off that high with the championship last week. Still P2 for tonight. What's coming up for you on this off season? Is just taking a break? Are we seeing Ryan Newton coming back next season as well?
The plans right now, I think next season I might just be a reserve. I don't know. We'll see. I've kind of lost interest with the F1 game. It's also just it's a lot very time consuming. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, things can change by the time the next season starts. So, but I had a lot of fun this season. I think the grid was very competitive, and yeah, so I had lots of fun though.
Yeah, well, we'll see if you're gonna pull a Rosberg on us or not. But most definitely, this season was your season, Ryan. So congratulations again for your P2, and hopefully we see you soon.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, stand by, the way. We have Nicholas Pichet, who is our P1 finisher, but just after this, we'll have the final words with Eric Cavallo, officially retiring this season. But P1 finisher, Nicolas Pichet, great racing from you. Ryan Newton was all over your gearbox, trying to harvest his battery, set up the overtake, and at the end, you still came out on top, despite the pitting before you. So walk us through this race. How did that one go for you?
Yeah, and there was a bit of carnage in the first corner since Ross spun, and I don't think, I don't think, but I didn't see what happened. But yeah, there was quite a bit of carnage, so it allowed me to get away a bit. And yeah, I tried to keep behind Ryan Newton, behind like the 1 second gap. And I have been able like for 8 laps, but the result of that is I burnt my rear tires. So yeah, wasn't a great move from me, but I've been quite lucky on the second stint when I came out of the pit. There was a guy that I hadn't pitted yet, so I used the DRS he gave me on the main straight and the other DRS straight to get into Ryan DRS. Honestly, otherwise, if I wouldn't have that DRS, I don't know if I would have get into Ryan DRS again. But yeah, I'm happy with the race, and the whole second stint was honestly only a strategic slow down to get back the battery. And yes, in the final lap, I tried to do something to let Ryan by and try to have the DRS. But yeah, he went to the marbles, I think, and he slid, so he hasn't been able to overtake me. And I had a lot of battery from all the slowdown. But yeah, I'm very happy with this one.
Yeah, indeed, a little bit of a on throttle slip up there on you, like you say, on the marbles in turns 2 and 3. Most probably cost him the highest chance of battling you for the win this race. You finished the season on a high. You battled for the win for Coda last weekend. You get the win here in Mexico. What are your objectives for next season? Is it battling straight up for the championship?
Yeah, it will be my objective, but I have just I have to get right like every single track instead of a couple ones. So I have to be more consistent. But yeah, this is the objective.
Consistency and a championship are his objectives for next season. Nicolas Pichet, congratulations for your P1, and we will see you hopefully soon in the broadcast booth once again.
Yeah, thank you, Ranger.
Thank
Great
you.
season.
And why not? Why not having him over here for one last time? Eric Cavallo. Mr. Era, how are you tonight?
Hey there, John. Yeah, sadly, it's going to be the last time I'm here. Oof. The race was very fun. I had a lot of fun today. I think I had a better pace today. Pace was amazing. I was so used to this track because I had days of practice on the Heineken Player 00 for this track. On that occasion, I finished at P3, so I was very used to this track. Yeah, someone spun me on second corner. I went to the back of the pack. I was last place, and I did everything I could to get a top 5, and yeah, I did it. So I don't think I would be able to get a podium if the guys didn't have a penalty like Eruption. They were so far in front. Still, the pace was amazing. What can I say? That's it. My last time there. I hope I can be around, like being TP steward or something like that. I just love it. I love it. F1 game. I've been doing this for the last 5 or 6 years. So I love the game, but personal things comes first, and yeah, that's my goodbye.
Yeah, Arrow, I mean, we knew it was the last season, but you know, given the circumstances, you know, family comes first, and your goal to be a family man, that you have to let go of your steering wheel basically for a while. But we expect eventually the return of Vera potentially, and that could happen anytime soon. But from on my part and part of all of ZRL, we wish you well, a good retirement for now, because as I said, we expect that retirement to end eventually. But good retirement for now, and you know, thank you for being part of the community and everything you've provided.
Thank you, John. Thank you for everything. I really need to tell you this. You were someone I considered since the day I've came here to ZRL. Thank you for everything, John, and thank for the amazing job you did with the strings and everything. You are an amazing person also. So again, thank you, John.
Well, it is. Thank you. I was not expecting that praise, but definitely, definitely, I'll take it. I'll take it with me, kind sir. And on that kind note, we will end this Division 1 stream. That is the end of the season here in D1. However, Division 2 tomorrow night is not over. We've got a 3-way battle for the championship, as well as a battle between Alpine and Red Bull for the combined constructors, the very important P2 position that they want to get. Stay tuned for tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, for a great battle here in Division 2. Good night, everybody, and we will see you next season, Season 10, coming up in ZRL.